Austin is consistently ranked one of the best cities to live in, start a new business in, and live a healthy lifestyle. I'm the Reverend Dr. Jamie Mathias, a candidate for the Austin Independent School District Board of Trustees, District 2. And like you, I want to see Austin Public Schools ranked high in graduation and college entry rates. I respectfully ask for your support and your vote in our upcoming general election. Soy el reverendo Dr. Jaime Matías y como candidato para la mesa directiva de las escuelas públicas de Austin, pido su apoyo y su voto en estas elecciones del 6 de noviembre. I am a proud product of public schools. I graduated as valedictorian of my high school class, and I am passionate about education. I possess 2 bachelor's degrees, summa cum laude, and 4 master's degrees, including a Master of Science in Organizational Leadership and Ethics, a Master of Arts in Philanthropy and Development, and a Master of Business Administration in Management and Finance. More recently, I was named a Doctor of Philosophy in Leadership Studies. For 12 years, I have served our Hispanic community, and as a scholar practitioner, my research focus is the Mexican and Mexican-American community of Central Texas. All of that to say that I will bring to the Austin Independent School District Board of Trustees a great deal of knowledge, skills, and expertise. Con 2 bachilleratos, 4 maestrías y un doctorado en filosofía, tengo la educación y las habilidades para hacer la diferencia en la mesa directiva de nuestras escuelas públicas. As an experienced teacher certified in secondary foreign languages, I well know the daily challenges faced by our teachers, the long hours and large class sizes, the multiple preparations and the behavioral challenges, and of course, the pay, which is hardly commensurate with that of other professionals. I am an experienced school administrator. Having served for 4 years as president of a college preparatory school for minority and low-income students, I understand the importance of balancing budgets and of building trust with the community. During these past 12 years, I have also helped to establish 3 learning centers presently operating in East Austin. Tengo cierta pasión por la educación, soy maestro y administrador escolar, y he ayudado a fundar 3 centros de aprendizaje en el este de Austin para los adultos hispanoparlantes. I am honored to be endorsed by Education Austin, the labor union representing our 6,000 teachers and 4,000 school employees. I am also proud to be endorsed by 9 local political clubs offering endorsements in the District 2 race to date. And I'm proud to be endorsed by local grassroots movements in East Austin, Dove Springs, and Travis Heights. Hasta el día de hoy, ninguna organización local ha apoyado la campaña de nuestro oponente y 13 de 13 organizaciones han apoyado nuestra campaña. Es impresionante y estoy agradecido. As a community leader in East Austin, I daily speak with several people. I hear their stories, I know their challenges, and I hear their discontent. I also see the data, that 66% of Hispanic children in our community live in poverty, that 51% of our Hispanic girls are pregnant before age 18, that nearly 40% of our Hispanic students are dropping out of school, and that a large achievement gap continues to plague our schools. When I listen to parents and teachers, I sometimes hear cynicism in their voices. They wonder if their current elected officials hear their voices and represent their interests. In February, community leaders asked me to run for the AISD Board of Trustees. They complained that the incumbent does not listen to the people he was elected to represent, does not actively engage our community, is deaf to the cries of our people, and is all too absent on the dais. They remember all too well the events of March 2011, when our school district declared financial exigency and the Board of Trustees voted to eliminate more than 1,000 jobs. That evening, as teachers and school employees awaited the fate of their jobs, the District 2 seat was empty. The incumbent, elected to represent District 2 on such important matters, was absent from the dais again. And they remember all too well the events of December 2011, when the actions of our opponent, the incumbent, suggested that community input and genuine dialogue are not important, and that our community need not have a voice at the table. The Austin American-Statesman declared, "East Austin folks going unheard." And editor Alberta Phillips opined that we could no longer count on our elected school board members to represent our community. I have a different vision than my opponent of what a trustee should bring to our school board for parents, students, educators, and employees. Inspired by the community leaders who have asked me to run for the AISD Board of Trustees, I hope to provide a voice to our students and families, a voice for our teachers and staff members and administrators, a voice for our community. You see, I believe that our elected officials should represent the people who elect them. I believe that trustees should be visible and should be champions for our students and their families. I believe that attendance is important, not only for our students and teachers in the classroom, but also for the members of our Board of Trustees. I believe in transparency and accountability. And I believe that democracy demands that communities be involved in the decisions that affect them. Sí, varios retos enfrentan a nuestra comunidad hispanoparlante. Es por eso que quiero ser una voz por nuestros estudiantes y sus familias, una voz por nuestros maestros, empleados y administradores, una voz por nuestra comunidad. At the annual gala of the Austin Area Urban League last Friday, UT President Bill Powers spoke of the importance of having the right person in the right position for the right reason. Leaders of our community have asked me to run for the AISD Board of Trustees. They believe that I am the right person for the right reason. I recently had lunch with former State Senator Gonzalo Barrientos and Janet Murguia, the President and CEO of the National Council of La Raza. Ms. Murguia spoke passionately about how we as a community need to stand up and choose a different path. I invite you to stand with me and to choose a different path. If we continue down the path that we've traveled during these past 6 years under the leadership of our opponent, only 1 in every 8 Hispanic students in our schools will graduate from college. As a city and as a region, this affects our earning power and our spending power, our economic power and our political power. It affects our prosperity. For the sake of our children and grandchildren, will you stand with me and choose a different path? Through their endorsements, local political clubs are standing up and choosing a different path. Through its endorsement, the labor union of our teachers and school employees is standing up and choosing a different path. I would be greatly honored to stand with you, and for the sake of our children and grandchildren, to choose a different path. Friends and neighbors, I have faithfully served our community for 12 years. I am a proud product of public schools, and on that foundation I've constructed a curriculum vitae that includes 2 bachelor's degrees, 4 master's degrees, and a doctor of philosophy in leadership studies. I am a certified teacher and an experienced school administrator. I am well prepared to serve on the AISD Board of Trustees. I respectfully ask for your vote on November 6. Con mucho respeto y gran humildad, pido su apoyo y su voto en estas elecciones del 6 de noviembre. And so, please visit our website, www.avoiceforprogress.com. Please follow the updates on our Facebook page. Please inform yourselves of the issues facing our students and our schools. Please consider the possibility of volunteering and/or of financially supporting this campaign with a gift of any size. And please vote on November 6. With your vote, we can bring a voice for progress to East Austin, Dove Springs, and Travis Heights. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sam Guzman. I am the Austin Independent School District trustee for Place 2. I've had the honor of serving you for the past 6 years. I worked hard to keep our district going in the right direction, and today it is one of the top districts among the Big 8 districts in the state. Running a school district the size of Austin is a difficult and complex job, which requires a lot of commitment, hard work, and the ability to employ good judgment and make good decisions which are in the best interest of everyone involved, and first and foremost, our children. I have extensive experience and background in executive positions in state agencies and nonprofit community-based organizations. But one of the most important qualifications is that of being a parent of children who have gone to our public schools. There is no substitute for what it means to be a parent on a personal basis and for how it prepares you for serving on the school board. For me, serving on the school board has never been about politics, and for the past 6 years, my primary focus has been our community, our teachers, and our children. As much as anyone may want to make a school board election political, it is not. It's about our education, and it's about putting children first. During my time with AISD, I have worked closely with the community and with the district to preserve the highest possible standards of education. When Johnston High School came under the threat of being closed by TEA, I was there for the community. I promised them that I would fight for the school, and I kept my promise. Today, Johnston High School's doors remain open as Eastside Memorial High School at the Johnston campus. When I saw the overcrowded conditions in Linder Elementary kindergarten classes, I led an initiative to build an early childhood center in the East Austin Place 2 area. I am happy to say that this state-of-the-art facility opened at the start of this school year and serves the Linder school community and will eventually serve the Dove Springs school community. When the community was in fear that their schools were being considered for closure, I stepped in to take school closures off the agenda. Being a school district trustee involves a lot of things, not just working long hours without pay, but also in cultivating a community. It means finding parents that have the interest to come before the school board to give us their input and express their concerns. We also represent the interests and concerns of those parents who may not be able to come to school board meetings due to work or child care issues. It means supporting the teachers who are among the most important segments of our community. Since day one, I have worked hard to ensure that AISD teachers got much deserved pay increases and to preserve their employee rights before the school district. I have been a strong advocate for teachers, all teachers, those who may belong to the associations and those who don't. Now, the business community and our taxpayers want, deserve, and expect board members to be good stewards of the funds which have been allocated to the district for the education of their children, all children. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton once said, "It takes a village, and indeed it takes a community, in order to put and keep our children first." I am fully committed to continue to serve in this position, not only for these reasons, but also because I have children of my own who attended Austin ISD schools. Both my daughter and my son attended Travis Heights Elementary, Fulmore Middle School, and Travis High School. I have personally participated in school PTAs, booster clubs, and many fundraisers over the years. But my job, both on a professional and personal level, is not over, because now I have 4 grandsons. One of my greatest joys is being able to take 2 of them to school most mornings and picking them up in the afternoon. When I see them, I ask them, "How was your school day?" I think this is a very important question which every parent should ask on a daily basis. Children like to share their school activities with their families. And by asking them about their school, you send a very important message that going to school and making good grades is important. In order to continue to keep your children and my children and keep our school district going in the right direction, I need your support and your vote to get reelected to place 2 of the Austin School District. Thank you. Have a blessed school year. This has been Sam Guzman, Austin Independent School District Trustee, Place 2.
Hello, my name is Ann Teich, and I'm a candidate for AISD Board of Trustees, District 3. I would appreciate your vote on November 6th. District 3 includes the Lanier High School vertical team. Lanier High School, Burnett, and Webb Middle Schools, Barrington, T.A. Brown, Cook, McBee, Riley, Ridgetop, Walnut Creek, Wooldridge, and Wooten Elementary Schools. District 3 also includes students from Anderson, McCallum, and Reagan High Schools, Dobie, Lamar, Keeling, Pierce, and Murkison Middle Schools, and Blanton, Lee, Maplewood, Pillow, and Summit Elementary Schools. First, a little bit about myself. I am a graduate of Lanier High School, class of 1970, and a graduate of Southwestern University in Georgetown. I attended graduate school at UT Austin. I taught language arts at AISD's Porter Middle School for 27 years, and after retirement in 2005, I became a substitute. I have substituted in all AISD middle schools except for 3, and in all AISD schools, high schools except for 1. I have a fairly good picture of what is working and what is not working at AISD secondary schools. Because I was a teacher and then a substitute, I have developed some expertise in evaluating educational programs and effective instruction. I am active in the community, working to increase funding for education, reduce high-stakes testing, provide affordable housing for our low-income residents, and increase the health and safety of families in the District 3 area and in other parts of Austin. I have served as Vice President of the North Austin Civic Association for 3 years and participate in the North Austin Coalition of Neighborhoods and the North Austin Community School Alliance. I have developed ties with neighborhood leaders around the city, and I firmly believe that communities around schools need to be involved in the education process to ensure the success of the students in those schools. I am a candidate for AISD Board of Trustees for 3 reasons. I want to ensure that AISD provides a quality education for all of its students, no matter where they go to school in the district. I want to ensure that AISD attracts and retains quality teachers and support staff. We need to explore all ways to ensure that we do that. I want to ensure that the public has genuine input into all of our schools. Webb, Dobie, and Reagan are excellent examples of what can be done to turn schools around when the communities around them are genuinely involved in the academic and social-emotional learning of students. Our nation and our state are built on the fundamental premise that all children deserve a free public education. The goal of that education is to create educated, informed citizens who think critically and make electoral decisions that preserve our democracy. I will work hard to make sure that AISD students become those citizens. Please visit my website, www.annteich.com, for more information. And remember, November 6th is the election date for AISD Board of Trustees and many other races, federal, state, and county, as well as Austin City Council bond propositions. Please remember to read through your entire ballot when voting. In order to vote in the November 6th election, you must be registered by October 9th. Early voting begins October 22nd. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Charlie Jackson, and I want your vote for AISD School Trustee District 5. But first, I would like to talk to you about our school district and tell you a little bit about myself and why I want to serve you on the board. Primero, me gustaría hablar de nuestro distrito escolar y contarles un poco acerca de mí y por qué quiero trabajar para ustedes. Let's start with our district. Every mother and father I talk to want to know more about our district, and it's a big one. AISD is the 5th largest school district in Texas with over 86,000 students from a wide range of backgrounds, cultures, and ethnicities, located on 124 campuses throughout Austin. More than 11,000 people work for the district to serve your children, and our annual budget is nearly $1 billion. District 5 schools, the district where I'm running, includes Barton Hills Elementary, Briker Woods and Cassis, Lee, Matthews and Oak Hill, Patton, Peace, and Zilker. Small Middle School, O'Henry Middle School, and Austin High. As your trustee in Place 5, I will be representing these schools, but as a member of the board, I will also be serving the entire district. Schools like Metz and Becker, Graham and Sims, Dobie, Webb, and Travis, and many more. Austin has many great schools that are rich in history, ones that every family should be proud of, and schools that every board member should get to know. I started kindergarten right here in Austin and have spent half my life living and working here, and I'm very proud of my native city. I'm grateful that my mother, a teacher, and my father, an engineer, instilled in me a love of learning and desire to build new things. I attended UT, where I received my bachelor's degree in government and a master's degree in technology from UT's prestigious IC² Institute. I also worked first as a technology specialist with the Education Service Center and later as a computer consultant to provide computers, software, and networks to many of the schools throughout the district. This helped me to become familiar with the schools around our district and in neighboring districts. As a professional and head of a small technology business, I've also visited and worked with schools throughout the United States and even in other countries in areas from distance learning to administration. Throughout the years, this has helped me to develop some understanding of many of the best practices, issues, and challenges that our schools face, and I want to bring that knowledge to the school board. At the same time, I'm the proud father of 2 great sons who went to public schools right here and are now in college. I'm also thankful that their mother was not only a teacher, but one of the best I've ever known. I want to speak to you now as a parent and let you know that on the school board, my first priority will always be to help your children. I know what it's like to pack lunches, get children off to school and special events, participate in the PTA and teacher conferences, and to try to provide children with great education in safe, welcoming schools where their special needs are addressed. When we entrust our children to the care of our schools, we need to be confident that their teachers will have their best interest at heart while we go off to work to pay for the things that every family needs. Over the years, both as a parent, professional, and community leader, I volunteered in schools, been a mentor to many other students, helped raise money for struggling schools, and attended many, many school board meetings. I've seen boards, superintendents, teachers, and staff perform great things and make great sacrifices for our children. At the same time, I haven't always been happy with some of the decisions that they have made. I've been particularly concerned about some of the recent decisions by the AISD school board. During the past few years, the board has laid off teachers and staff, created a community furor over closing good schools, forced an outside charter school company on a neighborhood that wasn't ready for it, is unable to balance the school budget, and has allowed the focus to be taken away from what matters, helping every child in Austin to receive a great education. I'm running for the board because I want to help work with our wonderful teachers, administrators, parents, and community leaders to get AISD back on track, heal the divisions in our community, and find ways that we can better support our kids and teachers. I also want to challenge our business and elected leaders to find solutions to the financial inequities that exist throughout our district. As your board trustee, I will work for you and every parent. I will unite the board and the community so that our district can be among the best in the world. My goals include making AISD a top 10 school district within 4 years, making sure our teachers, staff, and parents have the resources they need to reach that goal, and helping our students, our children, yours and mine, to understand that all of Austin supports them and that we will do everything in our power to make sure they reach their full promise in life. On November 6th, I hope that you will go to the bottom of the ballot and vote for Charlie Jackson for AISD trustee. I also hope that you will contact me at jacksonforaustin.com to let me know what we can do together to improve our school. I sincerely believe that if we unite together, we can build a world-class school district, one in which every child, your child and mine, can succeed and go on to do great things. See you on Election Day.
I'm Amber Ellens, and I'm running for the District 5 seat on the AISD School Board. District 5 has changed since the last time you voted in a school board race. It now represents Central, South Central, West and Southwest Austin, and includes all of the elementary and middle schools that feed into Austin High School. I am in this race because I believe everyone should have a voice in the school system. My 13 years of volunteer experiences working with the parents, students, and teachers throughout Austin have educated me on how to make that happen. My personal and professional experiences have prepared me to improve communications and community engagement. They have also positioned me to fight for the funding and educational options that we need to make sure that every child receives the excellent education that he or she deserves. I am a believer in public education. I attended Texas public schools and my mom was a teacher. I graduated from the University of Texas with a Plan II Honors Liberal Arts degree, and after spending several years as a broadcast journalist with CNN and local NBC stations in Waco and Houston, I returned to business school and earned my master's in management from Northwestern University. I then worked in both finance and marketing for United Airlines in Chicago before moving back to Austin to raise my 2 children. I took my educational and professional experiences and put them to work as a volunteer here in Austin, helping our schools and our kids. My children attended Briker Woods, O. Henry, and Austin High. My daughter just graduated and she's studying theater in college. My son is a freshman at Austin High, where he is a special needs student dealing with learning differences primarily in the areas of dyslexia and auditory processing. So as you can probably imagine, I had to learn to advocate for my children in different ways from the beginning. I served as the PTA president at both Briker Woods and O. Henry. I also was on the campus advisory councils at those schools, which is where I first learned about the district's budgeting process, and I began to understand how our campus fit into the bigger district as a whole. So when my daughter entered high school, I thought I'd give her a little space, and I put my volunteer efforts into district-wide work by serving on the Austin Council of PTAs. The ACPTA exists purely to help every PTA in our district. We have 109 of them and about 18,000 members. As the president of the council for the past 2 years, my job was to communicate with all of those PTAs and to educate their parent and teacher members on how to better advocate for their students and their schools. The experiences and knowledge that I have gained from these past 13 years as an AISD volunteer leader have brought me to you today. It is time for me to take the next step and apply this expertise to board-level work. When elected to represent District 5 on the AISD School Board, I plan to strengthen the school district in at least 3 ways. First, I will work to ensure that AISD improves the way that decisions are made. We will include parents, teachers, and community member voices at the beginning of discussions so that they can take an active role in making the decisions that affect our kids. My work on the campus advisory councils at Briker Woods and O. Henry, along with my experiences on the District Advisory Council and several AISD committees over the past decade, has given me an insight into how things work or don't work today. They have also instilled in me strong ideas and opinions on how we can make them work better in the future. My efforts to create conversations that build trust among parents, teachers, and principals in District 5 schools and in schools across the district as a whole have shown me that it is possible to repair relationships that have been damaged by top-down decision-making. I will continue these outreach and bridge-building efforts by meeting with parent groups, neighborhood groups, and school leaders when I am a member of the Board of Trustees. Second, I will work to ensure that our district provides the educational tools and options that every child needs to succeed. Every one of our children is different, learns differently, and is motivated by different things, and they will contribute to our society in his or her own specific way. Our job as leaders of a public school system is to make sure that we appreciate those differences and enable all of our students to flourish. But to do this, our school leaders must commit to know our students as individuals, and then we must provide them with the opportunities and support that each student needs. Third, I will bring my liberal arts and business education, as well as my professional training in communications, finance, and marketing into play when governing our complex and large urban district. AISD has over 86,000 students, 120 campuses, and almost $1 billion budget. It is the single largest item on your property tax bill, and it is no secret that school funding is an issue. The state has pulled billions of dollars out of public school budgets at the same time that the number of students has grown by an estimated 80,000 across the state. To meet this growth, we must increase the dollars that are available to educate our children in AISD, and I will actively advocate for our district and public schools across the state before our legislators. I will also pursue grants and endowments, as well as financial and volunteer resources through local businesses, nonprofits, and volunteer groups. My experience bringing the Austin Council of PTA into partnership with Austin Partners in Education, the school district, and several local businesses for the Connected event last May is a great example of what I will continue to do. Together, we trained our school and parent leaders across the district on how to build the specific financial and volunteer resources that they needed at each of their schools. This experience strengthened my resolve to increase collaboration efforts throughout all areas of our district. So I ask for your vote on November 6th. My children have attended District 5 schools, and I have worked hand in hand with parents, teachers, students, and neighbors of District 5 schools during all of those 13 years. I would be honored to represent you and your children as the District 5 trustee on the AISD School Board. In closing, I also ask for your input. I want to know how you think the Board of Trustees can better fulfill its role and improve its communication with the community. I want to know how you feel about important issues facing the district. And you can contact me in many ways, the easiest of which is find my website at amberellens.com. There you will find my email and phone number as well as my Facebook connections. And I can't wait to hear from you. Thank you for your time today and for your participation in this important school board race that directly affects all children and families of Austin.
My name is Gina Hinojosa, and I'm running to be the AISD trustee for Place 8. I'm running for this position because I believe that as a great city, Austin deserves great public schools. Educating our children must be a citywide priority. We all have an interest in good public schools. Austin's success in everything from sustaining a robust local economy to curbing crime depend on the level and quality of the education provided in our public schools. For this reason, and because our biggest challenges cannot be solved without a unified effort, we must bring to bear all of Austin's resources towards achieving success in all of our public schools. Only through increased cooperation and coordination between our governmental entities, community groups, and the business community will Austin's public schools reach their full potential. As an AISD trustee, I will work to engage all of these partners to further develop a public school system worthy of our children and our community. And while community partnerships are essential, the best ideas about what our children need come from parents and teachers. Our school district is at its finest when it works in partnership with parents and teachers to provide what the community wants for its schools. No one wants what's best for a child more than that child's own parent. It is the most fundamental of human desires. Rather than fear it, we should embrace and encourage it. Yes, it's important to consult research theories and paid professionals when making decisions about the direction of our schools. When we do call out the best theories and programs about how to educate our children, we must always utilize them in partnership with parents. Parents want what's best for their child and, in fact, dedicate their lives towards that aim. When we put forth something that is truly good for children, parents can be brought along, and every effort should be made to do just that. Now back to public school teachers. There is no more noble profession. Public schools are the cornerstone of our democracy. They help build our society with the next generation of thinking citizens. Teachers are primarily responsible for accomplishing this feat. Yet we give our teachers minimal support even less professional freedom and fewer resources with which to work. As a result, Austin's public schools are witnessing an exodus of its best teachers to neighboring school districts, private schools, and other professions. If Austin is to become a leader in public education, we must immediately reverse this course and instead become a destination for teachers, as we are for so many other professions. And Austin cannot continue to lag behind other large school districts in its teacher compensation. Too many Austin teachers have no choice but to leave the district because they are not being provided with the pay and benefits necessary to support a family in our community. We must work to provide more competitive pay and benefits if we are to retain the most talented professionals to teach our children. Further, as in any other profession, teachers must be allowed to employ their gifts, skills, and training in order to experience a sense of workplace satisfaction. So many teachers have chosen their profession because they feel a particular calling into the field. Teaching is their vocation. When teachers are preempted from utilizing their special gifts and skills because there is little space and time to do anything but teach to the test, both they and our children are robbed of an environment necessary to create a love of learning. We must trust teachers as professionals and let them teach. So while qualitative assessments are a necessary and valuable tool for gauging information learned, on too many campuses, testing has become the end game rather than a means. Our often overbearing testing culture has driven many good teachers out of the profession. As a community, we must take a serious look at what we can do locally to keep at bay the high-stakes pressures that have exacted a significant toll on both our educators and our children. We are a creative community. We can craft innovative strategies for the classroom that satisfy governmental mandates while allowing for the creative space necessary for both the meaningful teaching and learning experience. We must recognize that Austin is the home to some world-class public schools and programs. For many Austinites, our public school experience has exceeded expectations. When a campus is thriving, it is because of a synergy that occurs between students, teachers, staff, a principal, and a supportive community working towards that school's progress. Where these successes occur, the district's role should be to provide support as needed and requested, and to otherwise allow for continued and sustained achievement. However, far too many AISD students have failed to reach their full potential within our public schools. When and where this occurs, the district must bring to bear all of its resources towards enhancing the educational attainment of these students. Reform must begin with and always be mindful of parental and community input. Those closest to the students, their parents, teachers, administrators, and neighbors must first be consulted when determining appropriate intervention. Once a course of action is determined, we must employ the resources and expertise of all stakeholders if we are to effect meaningful improvements for our children. As the saying goes, it takes a village. It will indeed require all of us working together to solve the biggest challenges facing our students and our schools. And it won't be easy. Our public schools have basically been shortchanged out of adequate funding by our state. I stood at the Capitol with many of my friends and neighbors during the last legislative session, fighting for the money that rightfully belongs to our children. Our voices were heard. It helped. But we all know that our schools were still forced to continue with too little money. We must continue and step up our efforts to gain more money for our public schools. The threats to our public schools have only worked to galvanize our community to work that much harder, and there's no going back. We are sending a message loud and clear to those that work to undermine our public schools that we will not ever give them up. I ask all of you who have been in this fight for fair school funding to take on this election as part of that fight, because ultimately, this is when and where we have the most power to affect change. So I ask for your vote on November 6th. I've been an attorney in Austin for almost 15 years. My experience working for some great nonprofits, including board service, for example, American Gateways, Catholic Charities, Austin Interfaith, the Equal Justice Center, and Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid demonstrates my commitment to addressing inequalities within our government and our society. And it has given me knowledge and experience over an array of issues relevant to our district, such as special concerns particular to immigrant families, alternative learning programs for at-risk youth, nutritional challenges facing our lowest income families, and researching, innovating, and implementing strategies for funding, including legislative advocacy and education. Now, as a stay-at-home mom, home with my youngest son, I have the time and energy to be your full-time trustee. And as a mom of a child in AISD, my oldest, I will not make any decision for Austin's children that is not good enough for my own family. I thank you for your time, and I thank you for all you do for our public schools. Please remember to vote on November 6th.
My name is Mary Ellen Petrozinski, and I'm running for AISD School Board, Place 8. I'm a former teacher, a neighbor, and most importantly, a mother of 2 grown children who had the opportunity to attend many of AISD's incredible schools. Because of both their and my unique experiences, I have seen AISD from many different perspectives. For the past 8 years, I've served as executive director of a philanthropic foundation dedicated to increasing educational opportunity for underserved individuals in Austin. As a former teacher, I can relate personally to both the challenges and joys that our educators face. As the mom of 2 children who are products of an exemplary AISD education, I'm grateful to the district and aspire for all AISD students to receive an equally positive educational experience. To round out this perspective, I've had the opportunity to volunteer throughout this district, most recently serving on the Budget and Advisory Committee and the Alternative Sources of Revenue Subcommittee. While my sense of social justice is offended by some of the disparities I have observed, my diverse experiences provide possibilities to learn about and support many innovative educational ideas to improve these inequities. I've pushed for this innovation in my current position, and I'm looking for ways to amplify this influence. As trustee, my priorities in office will include maintaining a balanced budget, encouraging and implementing open lines of communication, and maintaining teacher and student accountability across AISD and its schools. Managing AISD's budget doesn't just mean making sure that we're spending our money wisely. It means achieving financial equity across our great district. This starts with ensuring that great teachers and great principals are at all AISD schools. Spreading our fiscal and human resources across the district will immensely improve the equity within AISD. With that, we must make mature, responsible fiscal decisions to help operate AISD to its full potential. Our students should only have to worry about their success in the classroom, not on our ability to manage AISD's checkbook. As the executive director of a local Austin-based foundation, I've been able to use innovative ways to encourage outside funding from AISD stakeholders, as well as partner with local nonprofits to encourage this crucial supplementary funding. As trustee, I will continue to rely on this experience to tackle our district's modern problems with our most inventive modern solutions. Additionally, we must make sure that we encourage communication among AISD, the AISD community, and AISD parents. To give our children the best education possible, we must work together to encourage an open community of educators, students, staff, and parents. There have been serious breakdowns in communication between the district and the community in the past, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that this isn't a recurring problem. In the most recent instance, the breakdown happened directly between AISD and the community. Both parties felt the other did not hear their voices and perspectives, and a plan was pushed forward without full buy-in from parents, teachers, and students. This is detrimental to the community because not only does a rushed process create distrust between parties who should be working together, but also the flawed process overshadows conversation about strong ideas. To address these issues, I would do my best to give the communication process an ample time frame to ensure that all voices are heard. This can be done through meetings, phone calls, surveys, and emails. But the point is, we must make AISD a more inclusive, cohesive family. There needs to be an urgency in repairing these breaks. At the same time, we need to be careful that we are hearing from the greatest number of affected parents, students, and stakeholders on each issue. Building this reliable process will take time. In addition to those folks who actively speak at meetings, we need to hear from those who are unable to attend due to work, family, and other obligations. We need to make sure that we are hearing from parents, students, and stakeholders most impacted by a particular situation. Then, by taking input from less impacted participants into account, we can begin to build this budding process. Lastly, just as we do our students, we must hold our teachers accountable for both their success and their struggles. It is our responsibility to be constantly monitoring the progress of both students and teachers, as well as the progress of our schools. We cannot solely rely on high-stakes, overemphasized, standardized testing. Tests are a tool which can help us monitor progress, but they should not be a linchpin for whether a teacher keeps or loses his or her job or a student is forced to repeat a grade. We must make monitoring progress something that is emphasized throughout the duration of the school year, not something that is disregarded and ignored until the end of the school year. With that, we must develop a system of strong support for our teachers. We must encourage, retain, and recognize those teachers who are succeeding and redirect those who are not. We must actively listen and learn from teachers' needs through personal communication, not wait until it's too late for their concerns to be considered. Most importantly, we must give our teachers every resource they need to help our children succeed and not force them to work with less tools and less resources. Our teachers are on the front lines of our children's educational experience every day. They are the people who will inspire a new generation of firefighters, police officers, and doctors. They are the ones who will motivate our young students to be a lawyer, a vet, or the next mayor. Our teachers are the very people who will inspire some of our students to be the next generation of teachers. With your support, I know that our teachers in our schools will succeed. As trustee, I will make sure that our teachers and our students are given everything they need to help create a better life for themselves, their families, and the community. With your support, I know that we can strive to give our children the only thing that we as parents ever want: more opportunities than we had as children to help create a better life for themselves and their families. As trustee, I will strive to make this dream of ours into a reality for our children. Thank you.